Hey, it is your buddy, Peace and Harmony with you here today. Much love going out to all the beautiful, empowered harmonizers. We are zooming in and focusing in on a great viewer question, and that is, how do I let go of the anger and resentment that I have felt as a result of manipulative relationships? Resentment is really the feeling of anger at somebody that you feel has victimized you. There's a feeling of, hostility, wanting to get back, retribution. A resentment can foster and bubble for years and months if it's left unchecked. It's very important to understand the role of resentment and how it can negatively deter and detract you from happiness, your life purpose, and really living in your strengths and attracting healthy relationships to you if you stay in that energy field. When you're in the field, the level of resentment, you're in a very low energetic vibration, meaning, you're sort of down, you're sort of scuffling, you're sort of looking askance. You might not pick your head up very much. You might not smile very much. You might find yourself frowning all the time, or just feel that you have very tight jaw muscles, that you're sort of wrenching your face around and you don't even look it, or your everyday look is one of worry. You catch yourself in the mirror and it looks like you're constantly worried. You're upset. This is resentment. Resentment is a feeling that is held onto and dragged around almost like a sack of 60-pound potatoes that always makes one feel that they're in drudgery, that they're unhappiness, that they're weighed down, that they can't, take their eye off of this weighty bag of potatoes that they're carrying around. It's just sort of like a burden. And it juxtapositions them, so it sort of creates a barrier or a wall from people getting to know you. In other words, they pick up that you're unhappy. They pick up that you're down. This is then housed in the nonverbal body language. Your body is then holding on to this feeling physiologically. You're just looking down. You're just looking unhappy. Your shoulders are slumped. Your body is sort of caving inward. You're always maybe looking down. You've got maybe, like a frown or a sadness on your face. This can also be felt as sadness, or being sullen, or melancholy, or brooding. Resentment, though, really takes on a feeling of being angry that you have been victimized, and so you're sort of keeping this victimizer or this perpetrator in the mix. And even though it very well could be fact of what was done to hurt you that needs correction, you need to understand that oftentimes, whatever happened, and you are one who needs to rectify, the healing moving forward and closure moving forward. Whatever amount of time it's going to take, you need to become aware, especially of the time element, in how how you relate to this feeling of being a victim, and to really begin to emerge out of that victim mentality and become really square and honest with yourself. To what degree are you feeling a victim? You can't move on because you feel like a victim. You can't enter a new relationship because you feel like a victim. You can't celebrate. You can't smile because you feel a victim. And then you get angry. This is known as resentment. You have to break the chains of resentment. They will hold on to you very much like a ball and chain. It won't allow you to sort of move freely, to have emotional fluidity, to have fluidity of communication. You might have a lot of ums and ahs in your communication, not knowing how you feel. Do you feel positive? Do you feel negative? Do you feel on the fence? You find that you feel on the fence about too many things, which results in then passivity. You can't be decisive. You can't put a time frame on things. By this and this date, I'm going to be free and clear of this. People have a difficulty, committing. They become commitment-phobic. They might have a feeling of post-traumatic stress syndrome or complex PTSD, as discussed in Pete Walker's book. And it can become a real inhibitor of your life, and you then are operating with a lot of inhibitions, second guessing yourself. I should do this, I shouldn't do this, and then a lot of regret, feeling that you've made a lot of mistakes. Oftentimes, this is founded because there's a foundation of resentment, which is part of your blueprint moving forward. So it will oftentimes make people meek and small if they're still fostering a lot of this resentment, and then guilt, apathy, overwhelmed feelings, anxiety. It will result in a lot of just sort of waffling around. And you need to be able to make determinations and be able to move forward. It has to then be a skill of letting go, meaning I'm letting go of the label that this person has given me in the process of my healing and moving forward. I'm letting go of the label that this person has given me. It's nothing but, a label that this person is trying to give you as a stigma, and then people feel a stigma or, a shame with moving forward. They don't want to discuss the past. It makes it difficult for them to own the present, and then it makes them even furthermore more difficult for them to have a future, or a future that they can get excited about and look forward to, because they're still carrying around that 75-pound bag of potatoes, which is, what I'm using as an analogy for carrying around resentment. Time will heal the wounds, but for a lot of people, they perpetuate and foster the wounds moving forward. And then they lash out at others. They then, begin to find themselves attracting a lot of perpetrators and violators, because they're trying to rehash the same old problems with new people. In other words, it's a subconscious, but they're so stuck in the label that they find themselves being attracted to others who will perpetuate the label. And, you have to rip the label off your forehead. I am not a victim. I am not accepting this label. This is not correct. You can have it back. Giving it back to the source is a very therapeutic practice, because you're giving it back to them. You're saying, I refuse, I reject, I don't tolerate. Here you go. You can have all this back. So begin to sort of let go and begin to develop the skill of letting go. Begin to see how it infiltrates and affects your decisions, and say, nope, that's just the victim. That's the victim label that's trying to keep me down. That's and it's resulting in more resentment. So begin to, reject and not accept the victim mentality, and then the label, not only as it's perpetuated in your present relationships, but your present ongoing pursuits, whether it's your employment, whether it's how you take care of your health, taking care of your finances. What are you putting a priority on, and what are you reinforcing? And how are you subconsciously reinforcing this victim mentality? You won't go for, the better decision. You won't take any more risks. You won't go and have a conversation. You won't have eye contact. You won't be able to shake a hand, have a hug, develop some new thinking patterns, some new behaviors, and breaking out of the routine you find yourself stuck in and stalemated in. So look at the role that this has, and begin to acknowledge and validate how it's been like a blanket weighing you down. To what degree has this been sort of pushing you and keeping you down, and keeping your eyes out of, out of awareness of picking up the messages from the universe at large that could be attracting you in a better direction. And begin to own that and say, perhaps yes, that could be so. Perhaps yes. And begin to, open up the door, lift up the rock that you've been under, and begin to look at the new opportunities that are aware and available for you once your awareness is picking up and able to follow through. Oftentimes people don't follow through on their good ideas, their moment of inspiration, because they don't believe in it. Even though it could be the life-changing decision, oh no, not me, I couldn't do that. Not somebody like me from this side of the tracks. Not me who's been through this. Not me who's had this gone on. Not somebody with my past. They discredit themselves even before giving themselves a chance. So stop talking yourself out of opportunity. Stop deflecting and pushing away the very opportunities that you're desiring, because they're clouded over with this sort of victim mentality or never me self-talk. Begin to say, perhaps yes, perhaps yes. That might work. Begin to, you don't have to go cold turkey, but begin to trust yourself little bit and little bit by little bit in ways that are bite-sized, small baby steps, so that you can, do them safely, securely, soundly, and you can trust yourself. You won't make, two huge jumps that, follow you in, the snake pit. So that, you're feeling positive, you feel in control, you feel empowered, and then you're able to receive the positive and let it live within you. Let that positive live, the positive compliments, the positive ideas, positive orderly direction thinking, feeling, and behaving. You don't have to jump out of your skin, but it's like, hey, that might work. And begin to get a little bit of a smile. Get a little bit of a, yeah, I am good at. Begin to embrace this rather than living in the down and out negative orderly direction thinking label that has been assigned to you by the manipulative others that you have encountered. It's your buddy, Peace and Harmony, with you here today. I hope that these videos do help. Please share, please subscribe, and please donate for more great tools, videos, discussion, and support. Have a beautiful day. Don't take the negative label. See what a difference it'll make in your life, and you'll be astonished, you'll be surprised, and keep it up. It's not just a once a moment, it's an ongoing process. Keep it in check.